Hello, this is Bloody Biscuits, and this video is going to be a guide to farming for MBD, or more specifically, how to farm SA POWs off of Meadow Mage. It's relatively straightforward. It's a lot easier than the other tutorial that I did for A-teching Pegasus, but I still kind of wanted to make a cute little tutorial going over my thought process behind the plays that I make when I go for SA POWs and what I'm thinking about, what I'm going for, that sort of thing. And I also have the rank calculator here again. This will let us know what our rank is along the way, and you can kind of see how certain things, certain plays affect your potential rank. So if you're curious, like, why am I getting B POWs or C POWs? Why am I not getting SA? That sort of thing, then you can kind of use the calculator to kind of give you an understanding of that. So let's go ahead and load up and go into free duel. I already have my deck set up, so we're just going to go into Meadow Mage. But the deck is an important factor, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. So you're gonna want plenty of dragons. As you can see here, I have lots and lots and lots of dragons. You want your dragons to be, if you have dragons above 1,600 attack, then you should definitely put those in, because you want to fuse Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon with as few fusions as possible. This is kind of like the opposite of the last tutorial. In the last tutorial where I talked about A-techs, you wanted to do as many fusions as possible, so you wanted all the little dragons, but now you want to do as few fusions as possible and use as few cards as possible. So having big dragons, any dragon that's above 1,600 attack, will be very, very helpful. So that's what my deck is primarily made of, is like all the crawling dragons, the cursive dragons, meteor dragons, metal dragons, spike Seadra, anything like that. Those are all viable. Crawling dragon number 2 is also very viable as well. As many thunders as you can possibly get your hands on. Kaminari attack is also incredibly helpful for when you have a weaker dragon, like a baby dragon or Blackland fire dragon. Then you can you put that with Kaminari, which is the big thunder, and that'll get you a Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon as well. We also have a couple of spellcasters, just in case we don't really run into, we aren't able to make Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon with like a thunder or something like that, or if we still want to make like a Kaminari attack. That's like relatively helpful. A few waters for the case where we want to do, where we want to make a Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon without a thunder. And we also have some plants. The plants are for it's B Dragon Jungle King, I'm pretty sure, which is 2,100 attack with just a dragon, which is actually really good. You want strong monsters. You want like beaters when you're going for SA POWs, when you're fighting Meadow Mage. So this is very, very helpful. And then we come down here to the magics and traps. So I have Raigeki, and I have a lot of field spells. So as many Umi and Mountain as you can get, and Wasteland. This is to counteract Sogen, which is Meadow Mage's like big play. It's to counteract Sogen, and it's also to counteract his the biggest thing that's going to prevent you from getting SA POWs, which is the Millennium Shield with 3,000 defense. You need to get over that somehow. So this is kind of like your way of doing so. Umi and Mountain, and even field spells that don't complement Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, like Wasteland, just to get over weaker warriors and such, that he'll play like Judgeman and Empress Judge, and even Geltia. Those might actually get in your way if you don't have another field spell to play. And it's also, you'll also see kind of like the mind games and how we like interact with the AI, and how having just a field spell in general is super helpful. So let's go ahead and get into it. These are going to be pretty fast, so I'm probably going to do a few just to kind of show off what different strategies you can go for and what the mindset is behind going for SA POWs against this guy. So with this hand right here, we have dragons, Kaminari attack, so we have a twin-headed, and we also have our field spells, which is really good. This is like a really perfect starting hand. We're probably going to get a POW for sure. So with this starting hand, what I always do is I always make twin-headed Thunder Dragon first. I put it in Moon, just in case Millennium Shield comes out, because Millennium Shield has Uranus, which is strong against Pluto, so we need to not be in Pluto. So Moon will work. Let me just sit here. Typically, his starting move will... Oh, okay. He didn't play Sogen. Typically, his starting move is Sogen, and he put... you can tell what Guardian Star the monster is, just by looking at it, by like holding R2 and putting your cursor over the card. That tells you what the Guardian Star is, and that's Uranus for sure. So to counteract this, just gonna go ahead and let's see. I'm gonna play Mountain actually, because Metal Dragon's gonna get weakened by Umi in whatever weird case that happens. So we're gonna play Mountain just as a precaution. That could very potentially not be Millennium Shield, but we kind of want to assume the worst. All right, good play. What was the Millennium Shield? So we're in a good position right now. Now at this point, what we're basically thinking about is how many cards we have left in the deck. Oh, we should also probably keep track of what we're doing in the duel. I forgot about the duel calculator. So 1 fusion, 1 magic use. Let's see. 2 turns, I'm pretty sure. I'm not used to activating or messing with turns manually. Anyway, so we're still, we definitely still have an APOW going. Basically what we're worried about is, oh, also cards used. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. What we're worried about is our card used amount, which you can tell in the top right. It says right now we have 32 cards left in the deck. We don't want it to drop under 28. It can be at 28, but it can't drop under 28. That would be very bad. So that's basically what we're shooting for, is using as few cards as possible. So I think that the best play here is to just play this black land. He put down a Sun, so we're going to put this in Mercury, which is strong against Sun. Alright. Good stuff. Again, we're trying to kill this guy as quickly as possible, so. And I think we can win this turn. Let's go ahead and do that. So. Oh yeah, we can definitely win this turn. So yeah, this is definitely an APOW, according to the calculator. Alright, cool. So we got an APOW successfully, which is very good. So I guess I'll just do the same thing that I did with the ATEC tutorial and explain, like, okay, why in the world do I want an SA POW? Why is that different than BCD POW, BCD Tech, SA Tech? What's the difference? The difference is if you get an SA POW, that'll give you access to the SA POW drop pool. And the SA POW drop pool is the only one that gives you MBD, as well as other good cards such as Skull Knight, Gaia, the Fierce Knight, Dark Magician, a bunch of strong dragons like Curse of Dragon, Meteor Dragon, Crawling Dragon, Kaminari attack is also in there. There's a lot of really strong monsters that you can get off of Metal Mage that's very helpful to the deck. Skull Knight and MBD are really the big two that you're looking for, but other stuff like Dark Magician's like not too bad. And if you get Dark Magician and Gaia, you can add them to the deck and make your deck even stronger against Metal Mage, so that you have an easier time getting SA POWs, which means an easier time getting MBD and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's the big deal, is that your rank determines what drop pool you get, and your drop pool determines if you can even get MBD in the first place. So you need to get SA POWs. That's very important. If you don't get SA POW, then you have a 0% chance of getting MBD. If you get an SA POW, you have a 1% chance of getting MBD, which is one more than you had before, so it's basically what you have to do. So yeah, let's just go ahead and keep shooting, keep going through these duels, just kind of showing off different strategies, things that you can do. Alright, we have a Raigeki. Now Raigeki is pretty important because it's a card that can just wipe away a Millennium Shield if you feel like you're running into one. So let's see, cards used. I think we should like put it at 5. Yeah. There we go. That's a turn. Alright, cool. So this is going to be his starting play most of the time, is playing Sogen. So that leaves him open for 2 THTD attacks, typically. And in this situation, when he plays Sogen like this and you have a Raigeki in hand, and you put down 2 Twin-Headed Thunder Dragons, you basically win automatically. Another thing, so the first THTD that I play is in Moon. I also play another one in Pluto. This is a big deal, so that he has access to Empress Judge and Judge Man. So if I were to put both of them in Moon, I would immediately lose to Judge Man, and if I put them both in Pluto, I would immediately lose to Empress Judge, as well as Millennium Shield. So you want to diversify, essentially. Put the first one in Moon for sure, and then put the second one in Pluto, just to cover all your bases. So we basically just win this duel. Even if he were to kill one of our THTDs, we just Raigeki next turn. And we basically win. Alright. Another strategy you can do. Here along the way, I'm also going to add in like good monsters that help with the SA POW process. Alright, so in a situation, this is actually not too bad. So this is a good situation to show off, where we don't actually have a Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon in our hand first turn, but we do have access to B Dragon Jungle King. So we want him to play Sogen in this situation, which he didn't. That kind of sucks. Hopefully we don't get killed. Okay, that's very potentially, what is that? That's very potentially Millennium Shield. So let's see how this plays out. If that's a Millennium Shield, then very potentially we won't be able to get an SA POW here. Oh, it's Empress Judge. Okay, cool. So we're in a good spot. We were able to tie him, so that's why I was in defense. And that might be Judge Man, I'm not sure. But we're in a very good spot now, since we threw down Mountain. That'll power up all our dragons. So even though we don't have THTD right now, we can still very potentially get an SA POW off this guy. Also, I should be keeping track of a calculator a lot more often. Let's see. There we go. I might be messing with the calculator incorrectly, not sure, but I'm pretty sure we're good. Let's see. We might be able to win this turn? No, I don't think so. I think it'll be close. Yeah, okay, I think that we're messing with the calculator incorrectly. Because this is definitely an A POW for sure. Yeah, Bottom Dweller. Bottom Dweller is a, what is it? That's a 20. So every single drop has a number attached to it, and that number over 2048 is the percentage chance of you getting that drop. So 20 out of 2048 is 1%. So there's a lot of 20s that this guy drops. And that kind of lets you know that you got a very rare card, but it wasn't the rare card that you really wanted to get, because Skull Knight's also a 20 and MBD is also a 20. If people don't know what the abbreviation is, MBD is Meteor Black Dragon, which is 3,500 attack, which is one of the strongest monsters. It's the single strongest card that you can obtain in the game. Cool, cool. So we're in a good position here. We just, the worst thing that could potentially happen here is, the worst thing that could potentially happen here is Millennium Shield, in which case we would need to hope for a Raigeki or our field spell. It's also important to note that even with an equip here, you wouldn't be able to get over a Millennium Shield. So this is kind of why field spells are so dang important. Yeah, so we lost to Guilty here, but we put our monster in Pluto, so we kind of covered ourselves. That's why it's important to put one in Moon first and then one in Pluto second. And we didn't use any spells, so this should be an S-POW, I believe. Yeah, and we got a Gaia the Fierce Knight. Sweet. That's actually like a very good drop. If you ever get Gaias, you should definitely immediately put them in the deck. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and modify the deck a little bit. Show you guys what cards you really should be putting in your deck as you go along. So let's see. We'll take out one of these. Definitely want... if you have like any Gaias, you should definitely put them in, because they're 2,300 attack and they're warriors, so they get powered up by Sogen as well, which is actually, you know, it works in your favor if they actually play Sogen and you get this card early on. Let's see, what other cards are very good? Obviously MBD, but we're just going to assume that we don't have an MBD, and we're still farming for one. Dark Magician's also very, very good. Where's Skull Knight? Yeah, Skull Knight's also very good as well. Let's see here. You don't really want to get rid of Thunders. You also don't want to get rid of too many Dragons. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of one though. Anyway, add like a couple Dark Magician here. So Dark Magician's also very, very good to throw in. Let's see, other stuff that you can throw in that this guy drops. Let's see, we got Gaia already. Let's see. Firewing Pegasus, this is also another good one. 2250. Firewing Pegasus, and where's the other one? It's Brachio Radius. Yeah, Brachio Radius. Both of these are pretty dang good beaters that he drops. But the problem is that once he starts playing Sogen, a lot of his monsters kind of just destroy Brachio Radius and Firewing Pegasus. Doesn't mean they're bad. They're definitely useful and you should put them in the deck, but that is one downside to them. Whereas like Dark Magician and Skull Knight can actually fend for themselves a little bit better. And that's it for the most part. You can also get Vermilion Sparrow, and you can put that in there, but it's only 1900. It's not the greatest thing in the world. So yeah, it's not too bad. You can definitely throw in some good cards into the deck. And as soon as you get like a single Gaia, that like makes your deck way better for farming this guy. Speaking of which, we got Gaia, sweet. Let's see. I'm going to make this THDD first. Alright, he played Sogen. So in this situation, you can really do a bunch of different things. Since I have access to THTD, I'm just gonna go ahead and make that anyway. Even though Gaia is like the one card 2800. The thing that we're kind of thinking about is like, okay, what happens if he plays Millennium Shield? If he plays Millennium Shield, then we can just Mountain, and then that immediately lets us win. Whereas if we put down Gaia, he would still be left with 100 life points. Alright, cool. So in this case, we don't even necessarily have to play a field spell. If you care about star chips, playing the field spell is basically what turns your S-POW into an A-POW. So if you want to avoid A-POWs, just don't use your field spell. If you can avoid it, but obviously, if it's important, then you should, if it's important to getting the SA-POW, you should definitely play your field spell. I'll do a few more duels here, just to kind of give you an idea of the strategy. Like, the deck that I have here is, like, basically built for SA-POWs, so it's a lot easier for me. Whereas it might not necessarily be as easy for, like, decks that are just starting out. But the basic idea, like, you can start SA-POWing this guy comfortably once you have, like, a decent amount of Dragons and Thunders, like, I don't know, 8, 9 Dragons and, like, 6 or 7 Thunders. Even then, that's, like, enough. And if you have a couple of field spells, like an Umi, 2 Umis, 2 Mountains, an Umi and a Mountain, and a Raigeki, then you can SA-POW this guy, like, relatively comfortably. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but you can definitely do it. And as soon as you start comfortably SA-POWing this guy and you start getting good drops, then it becomes easier and easier, and it just kind of snowballs. Let's see here. So again, the magic number that we're need to keep track of is like higher than 28. So right now it's at 31. I used a 2-card fusion, and he basically just gave up by doing that play. And we'll be at 29 here, and it'll be just fine. So yeah. Summary, the monsters that you're worried about are Millennium Shield, Empress Judge, or what was it? Empress Judge, Judge Man, Gaia, or Giltia, the D-Knight. Those are monsters that you're mostly worried about. Those are his, like, stronger monsters for sure. Alright, let's see how this fares out. I'm kind of worried about, so I'm going to use more cards here, actually, and this is going to put me at 29. This will put me at 29, but he's going to be, like, really low on life points. And I'm kind of worried that I'm not going to be able to draw THTD or, say, like, a field spell or Raigeki. So, using more cards here in this situation isn't super bad. You still get 1 more turn, or 2 more turns at the very least, to get your SA-POW. Alright, so that's kind of what we're worried about. Is if that's a Millennium Shield, then we really can't do much here. We need our field. We need a favorable field spell, or we need Raigeki in this situation. Yeah, this is kind of his best play, is playing Sogen and then putting a Millennium Shield down on top of it. In this situation, there's really, like, nothing you can do except hope for the best. I think we can still win, actually. Just barely, yeah. Okay, so. Yeah, the last card that we, it was a good top deck for sure. That's exactly what we needed. We needed either a favorable field spell or Raigeki, and we got a favorable field spell. Nice. So we preserve the APOW. Sweet. Alright, so I don't want to make this video too long. It's already kind of lengthy for an SAPOW tutorial video, but that's just kind of like the basics for how you farm MBD. And yeah, MBD is like a 1% chance, so like the odds say that, you know, you'll get 1 out of every 100 farms. Sometimes it'll take more, sometimes it'll take significantly less. Just, you know, depends on luck. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Good luck farming, and I'll see you guys later.